What is the greatest treasure in history? The spear of Longinus, the Excalibur, or the Holy Grail? In Christian tradition, the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail are some of the most mysterious lost treasures. There has been movies made based on seeking the lost Ark of the Covenants or the Holy Grail, featuring certain whip-swinging archaeologists. Or if that's too Christian-oriented, there is the Al-Hajar al-Aswad, or the Black Stone in the Islamic tradition. This is the stone located in the eastern corner of the Kaaba, the ancient building in the center of the Grand Mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. It is revered by Muslims as an Islamic relic, which, according to Muslim tradition, dates back to the time of Adam and Eve. Of course, the Black Stone is not lost, but nonetheless one of the legendary and mysterious treasure in the Muslim tradition. In Chinese tradition, the greatest treasure lost in history is the Heirloom Seal of the realm, also known in English as the Imperial Seal of China. This was a jade seal created in 221 BC for none other than Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor, who unified China and established the Qin dynasty, China's first imperial dynasty. This is the emperor who built the Great Wall of China, and whose tomb is guarded by more than 6,000 terracotta warriors. According to Chinese tradition, the Heirloom Seal of the realm gives the right to rule the Chinese empire to its holder. This is because this seal is regarded as a physical symbol of the mandate of heaven to rule the earth, given to the emperor, who is the son of heaven. The seal is carved out of a jade stone that was famous in its own right. This stone was called Heshibi, translated as Mr. Hes Jade, according to the legend, at around 8th century BC. A man named Bian He found and raw jade stone in the hills. Recognizing this to be a precious treasure, he decided to offer it to the king. King Li of Chu dynasty, who ruled the area at the time, wanted to check if the stone was worthy and had his court jeweler examine it. But after examining the stone, the court jeweler said, "It is an ordinary stone, not worthy of your majesty's concern." The king, hearing this, thought He was a liar and had his left foot cut off. After King Li's death, He went back to the next king, King Wu, with the jade stone, once again offering it to the king. King Wu also had a jeweler examine it. This jeweler also said, "It is an ordinary stone, not worthy of your majesty's concern." The new king, also regarding He as a liar, had his right foot cut off. After King Wu died, the next king, King Wen, ascended the throne. Mr. He went to the palace carrying his stone, stood outside the palace, and cried for 3 days and 3 nights. When the king heard the story of a man with no foot crying for 3 days, the king had his soldiers bring him in and asked him why he was crying. The king asked, "Throughout all under heaven, there are many men who lost their feet. Why should you alone be crying so bitterly?" He replied, "I am not lamenting the loss of my feet, but for the lack of any man capable of recognizing a precious gem." At this, the king had his jeweler polish up the jade rock, and finally recognized it to be a priceless treasure. This jade is then cut into the shape of a large amulet, and was called Heshibi, or the Mr. Hes Jade. Then, some 600 years later, when Qin Shi Huang, the first emperor, unified China under his rule, it is from this stone, Heshibi, he had his imperial seal carved out. The seal bore the phrase, "Having received the mandate from heaven, may the emperor lead a long and prosperous life." This was 221 BC. And this was the start of the legend of the Heirloom Seal of the Realm, the Imperial Seal of China. After the death of Qin Shi Huang, the seal passed to his son. But the Qin dynasty did not last long, and soon two generals fought for the rule of China. When one of them, Liu Bang, took control of China and founded the Han dynasty, he took the heirloom seal from Qin Shi Huang's grandson. The seal was renamed as the Han Heirloom Seal of the Realm, and was used then by each of the Han dynasty emperors as their official seal. The Heirloom Seal of the Realm then passed from dynasty to dynasty and was known as a symbol of authority to rule all of China. After the fall of the Han dynasty, the Heirloom Seal of the Realm became a reason for armed conflict and rivalry. This was because the seal carried the symbolism that whoever held the seal had a claim to be the legitimate ruler of China. Near the end of the Han dynasty, in the 3rd century AD, several factions of generals vied for the control of China. One of them, General Sun Jian, found the imperial seal when his forces occupied the evacuated Han imperial capital Luoyang. Sun Jian hid the seal, seeking to claim it as his own. The Chinese classic, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, says that one of Sun Jian's men betrayed him and told about the recovery of the seal to Chief General Yuan Shao. When the chief general asked Sun Jian about the seal, he swore that if he had the seal, he might die a violent death. Not believing Sun Jian's words, the chief general Yuan Shao told another warlord, Liu Biao, to attack Sun Jian's army. Liu Biao did so, and although he was unable to defeat Sun Jian's army, a rivalry grew between Liu Biao and Sun Jian. And not much later, Sun Jian died a violent death in the ambush by Liu Biao's men. Sun Jian's son, Sun Su, inherited the seal and gave it to Yuan Shu, who was the chief general's cousin and another powerful warlord in his own right, in exchange for safe passage for him and his troops to return home to their base in the south. Yuan Shu then declared himself emperor of the short-lived Zhong dynasty in year 197 AD. This act angered the warlords Cao Cao and Liu Bei, who fought Yuan Shu's army. When Yuan Shu died, the seal came into the hands of Cao Cao, who became a vassal king of Wei. Cao Cao himself never declared himself an emperor. His son Cao Pi proclaimed the Wei dynasty as the legitimate successor state to Han in year 220 AD. The seal remained in the hands of Wei dynasty emperors until the last emperor, Chao Huan, was forced to abdicate to Sima Yan, the founder of Jin dynasty, in 265 AD. The seal was then passed through the emperors of the Jin dynasty, the 16 Kingdoms period, Southern and Northern dynasties period, Sui dynasty, and Tang dynasty. Through over 1,000 years, the seal served as the imperial seal, representing the legitimacy of each dynasty. How does one know whether the same seal was continuously used for all those years and not replaced by another? There is a way to tell the real heirloom seal of the realm. According to the tradition, in year 9 AD, when the Han dynasty was briefly usurped by a warlord from a side branch of the royal family, named Wang Mang, the seal was forcefully taken as a symbol of authority. In the process, Wang Zhangzhen, the empress of the Han dynasty, who also happened to be Wang Mang's aunt, threw the seal onto the ground in anger. This broke off one corner of the seal. After the Han dynasty took back the control of China, defeating Wang Mang, Han dynasty emperor ordered the seal to be repaired with gold. So a real heirloom seal would have a gold chip at one of its corners. And this is also why, in many Chinese dramas and movies set in historical setting, an imperial seal would be depicted with a gold chip at the corner. The heirloom seal would last for another 900 years after this incident, but was lost after the fall of Tang dynasty. There are different theories as to exact circumstance of its loss, but it is believed that the last emperor of Tang dynasty held onto it while he committed suicide by self-immolation in year 937 AD. But even after this, because of the seal's significance, many kings who ascended to the throne claimed that they had found the heirloom seal as a way to assert their legitimacy. For example, after the Song dynasty was established, the Song emperors used an imperial seal that had a similar phrase as the original heirloom seal, claiming it to be the heirloom seal of the realm. But because this seal of Song dynasty is also lost, there is no way to verify this claim. Then how was this second seal, the Song dynasty imperial seal, lost? In 1271 AD, the Song dynasty was pushed down to the southern part of China, and Yuan dynasty, which is the Mongolian dynasty established by Genghis Khan's grandson, took the northern part of China. And when the Yuan dynasty defeated the Song dynasty, the first Yuan emperor, Kublai Khan, is said to have taken the imperial seal that Song dynasty held. This same seal was then used by the following Yuan emperors, until Yuan was defeated by Ming dynasty. When the Ming soldiers captured the Yuan's capital in 1369, the heirloom seal was not found. Yuan was pushed out to the northern border of China. By the beginning of the Ming dynasty, the Song dynasty's version of the seal, inherited by the Yuan dynasty, was thought to have been taken away to Mongol, the Yuan dynasty's original homeland. So the seal number 2's fate became unknown as well, and the Ming emperors, as well as the Qing emperors that followed Ming, never possessed the heirloom seal. Instead, the Qing emperors created numerous other seals for various purposes, so as to diminish the significance of the lost heirloom seal of the realm. After the fall of the Qing dynasty, China went through a prolonged civil war between the Republic of China, founded by the Nationalist Party, and the forces of the Chinese Communist Party. When the civil war ended in Communist Party's victory, the leader of the Nationalist Party, Chiang Kai-shek, fled to the island of Taiwan with his government. When they fled, they carried the most important cultural treasures of China, which are now housed at National Taiwan Museum. Although the collection includes some personal seals used by Qing emperors, none of them matches in its significance to the heirloom seal. If found, the original heirloom seal of the realm would be the priceless artifact, given its history. It was used at least for 1100 years as the imperial seal of China, from 221 BC till at least the fall of the Tang dynasty in year 937 AD. Even the second seal, the Song dynasty seal that is generally thought to have been taken to Mongol, would be 1,000-year-old at this point. Jade do not disintegrate or melt when heat is applied to it. Instead, it'll just change color, burn, and crack. So even if the legend that when the last emperor of Tang killed himself, he was holding onto the heirloom seal of the realm, is true, it is possible the seal could have survived it. So the real heirloom seal of the realm could be anywhere, perhaps buried in the ground in the tomb of some warlord who acquired it, or some servant who fled with it during the rise and fall of the many empires of China. But if you travel to China and find a large jade seal that looks impressive and has a right inscription, you will want to make sure that it has a chip in the corner that has been repaired with gold. Because without the gold chip, the seal is a fake.